Hello everyone, welcome back to Ryan. I'm sorry for the dead air, but I'm waiting for a shoe to drop, but nothing seems to be. But everyone's laughing a lot, so I'm going to move ahead as if nothing has happened. Welcome to Ryan, everyone, after our little hiatus. You motherfuckers, what is happening? Is anything happening? Is this just the don't do anything and let me stew in my own anxiety?
Maybe.
Okay, that's what this one is.
So the surprise is there's no surprise.
Great effect.
Wonderful. Well, welcome back, folks. After our bit of a break for the one holiday and due to some technical difficulties, we are very happy to once again see you in Ryan. As is our tradition, we're going to introduce ourselves and our characters today. And this week's question, folks, is out of all the games you've played in, and some of you have played in a lot more, who is your favorite NPC of anything you've ever played in, and who is your favorite villain or antagonist that you just hate? So take it away, Gaffers.
I'll go first, just for the heck of it. Hi, my name's Randall. I play Kiki, the Kenku Tinkerer. Without a doubt, no one's even a close second. Favorite NPC in Ryan is Larry the Otter. The world's sexiest otter / bartender, cook, whatever. He just produces things to eat and stuff, and wears tight pants while doing it.
As he's wont to do, yes.
Yes. That was easy. Like, immediately done that. Least favorite hate load. Now, I know I should say it's Frederick, but I only really encountered him like once. He was like creepy and oogie and nasty. But honestly, it's that fucking wizard from the House of Garm who Kate's character shot in his shoulder and he bamfed away. The second time we fought him, he bamfed away. Like, it was like we could not put this evil drug running slime ball wizard, human elitist wizard down, no matter how weird it took a long time. So he was my
We eventually managed to pin him down by using an invisible version of Tiny Hut that we just barely managed to get up in time courtesy of a ritual spell. It was very dramatic.
Yes.
It was a good kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll go next. I'm Robert. I play Nikki Doxborn, the human wizard. My favorite NPC, there's a lot of really good NPCs, man, but it's got, I think I'm going to go with Wazari, probably.
The Wizard Mabari.
The Wizard Mabari, the giant dog, who is amazing. I kind of feel like he's like the spirit animal of many a good dog out in the world. My favorite NPC to hate is probably 1 or 2 games ago we were playing the Reckoners, who were a group of enforcers for the Badgers. And there was one antagonist who was I don't recall if it was a den mother gone rogue or someone on the side. Did I just steal it from you, Kate?
You bastard!
Well, maybe you'll remember more details than I do. But this person was like running an extra sex ring, and they were super abusive and extremely slimy, and just evil. Just horrible. And I've had the most visceral reaction to any of Scoot's villains. That's the only fight that I can remember where I was where the anger of the character really truly made it into the player.
Yeah. So for further reference there, and this was actually this led to a really good meta group discussion, because it wasn't just a super slimy abusive ring. There were also minors involved, which was kind of thrown in for the flavor of this is absolutely fucking horrific and you get to murder everybody here and feel good and justified about it. But we all kind of universally agreed afterwards, they're even with the satisfaction of we get to enact a very swift vengeance and justice, it makes us feel icky and uncomfortable, and we're not putting that in a game ever again, which was really great because it led to a great discussion of boundaries. Yeah, that's another one that I also fucking hated that character, Rob. It's okay, I have a backup fucking hate character.
Good. That's why I went first, because I was worried that you were going to steal it.
I'm Kate. I play Allie, our half tiefling, half kitsune monk. I I suppose it technically, well, no, that's not an NPC, so that doesn't count. So my favorite NPC is absolutely Winston the bear. In part because he like half raised one of my characters, and in part because he's just like genuinely delightful, and eats magic. And then my most loathed, other than she who must not be named, Den Mother. I really hate Sigretti. Sigretti is an elder god that we were tricked into releasing in another game. And so part of the reason that I hate her so much is because of how much my character hated her, and it actually like just bled over to me. Which is to say, the way that we were tricked into releasing her was she presented my in the guise of an entirely different setting. She presented my character with a deal, which was either you can gain access to all of this encyclopedic knowledge within this book, which is functionally the internet downloaded to your brain instantly, or you can make it so that your friends remain able, and your friends lose all of their knowledge of this book, of everything that they've ever learned from this book, and have no further connection with it whatsoever. And in exchange, or you can kind of keep your current level of knowledge, but your friends also get to continue. You don't gain all of it, but you'll gain some more, and your friends will also gain some more. And my character was real fucking mad about the idea of denying knowledge from anybody, so she was like, fuck you, my friends get to keep their knowledge, and so do I. And then this led to some trickery in which it was not just that we could each access the information, but we couldn't share it with each other. Like, we were not able to pass that information to each other at any point in the future, which was not a thing that was expressed to my character. My character got real fucking mad about. Anyway, in the long run, I ended up releasing an Elder God by accident. Fucking hate Sigretti. We're gonna murder her at some point, except possibly not us.
Somebody will eventually.
Somebody's gonna murder her.
I am intrigued by Deb, because Deb has played in more games of mine than anyone, I think, out of any of the players I play with. So I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, so I'm Deb. I play Tessa, our Tiefling Paladin, and I think by far my favorite NPC is definitely Frank. So for the audience, I think you met him a couple games ago. There was a whole story behind that. He started out as a villain, kind of got switched around and became this like weird anime boy who just pulls random things out of his hair. But yeah, there was a lot of really good plot lines in that campaign that were just very fun. In the reversed situation, my favorite villain would have to be Friedrich from Crits and Tits, because I helped start that. And he actually was a very nice man, Goliath in Ibaracum, who dated Radia for a while, and she was pretty much responsible for corrupting him and pushing him towards the dark side. And I think he's the one villain that has kind of carried over in all of the games I've played, a lot of RP stuff, and there's been a lot of really like epic moments with him. So that's why that's love to hate.
He's probably one of the best villains that ever got manufactured and I got to play with.
He really is.
Yeah, I tried to stop it, but in hindsight I'm glad it didn't work.
Yeah. Because that is for those of you out there who might be DMs, like he was my villain that at least had just a spot, just one introduction to most of the groups I played, and it got to the point where I would mention his name, and people that it was the campaign where Kate had seen him but no one else had during the Reckoners campaign, and I said the name Friedrich and Kate immediately swore a bunch, and everyone else was like, what the fuck's going on? And then as soon as they interact with everyone's, now we understand why we...
Because I remember the first time the whole group interacted with him was the time that we were in... Where's the place? The Tarasques, not the Everwilds, the other place.
The Primal Valley.
Primal Valley. Idri had been told, that my character had been told, if you ever see him again, basically hit your oh shit button that contacts your kind of otherworldly patron and fucking run. And it just so happened that her otherworldly patron she was kind of in love with and has ended up dating. So when her otherworldly patron had to fight Friedrich and was very much in danger in the process, she was not very happy about the whole bargain. So there was a lot of swearing while running away. And the whole group adopted that. So it was
Never
great.
fuck with psionics, man. Not even once.
Nah, they're fucking crazy. Well, with that answered, we're going to join back up because I have tasked the gaffers with doing a very impossible task, making a convention, basically, putting one together.
Fran Con.
Fran Con.
We do not have a ball pit. Thank you very much.
No. So we
Yes.
are going to join the gaffers who have been gifted an aid of sorts, a shepherdess to see them through this very trying social and entertainment time in the form of Satara the Bard. So we will join our intrepid group during sort of the preparation phase. They have had roughly 3 months to pull this thing together, so we're going to join them about a couple weeks out from the gala itself, and let them do some final preparations before things begin. So folks, if you would like to start, again, we're going to pick up probably about a week or so before the gala, so the invitations are out. You've got some confirmations.
Like my 8 documents. Hold
So
on.
if you would like,
We have spreadsheets. We have
We have
notes.
maps.
There has
we
been a
have-
lot of preparation. Deb bought this program that she's madly in love with. Deb, you should plug the program.
Yeah, Incarnate. So I highly recommend doing that. But I was able to create all the maps and all the temples, the blueprints, and so I've spent a lot of hours doing that. Super fun. Anyway.
so if you would,
To our
folks,
newest sponsor, Incarnate.
Yeah, but no, seriously, she's made like 8 maps at this point, and they're all gorgeous.
so if you folks would like, just run through, give us a little bit of a summary up until kind of like right before the gala about, what your character is doing. Randall, I'm sorry, you'll have to pull kind of double duty, but I'm sure you'll be fine with that, as Kiki and Satara will be doing very different things.
Also, Kiki is a woman of few words, and Satara is a person of many words. So yeah.
Yep. So just give since we had that technical difficulty last time, just give the audience a update about what you have been individually working on has happened to you in this about 3-ish month period. You had first intro, now second intro.
I can start. So a couple things have happened for Allie. We're recapping things that we talked about last time because they dropped. Okay. Allie is now dating Kem and Bindo, which has been tremendously fun to play in the text chat. It's going very well. She's also one of the things that she'd been doing was basically helping with everybody else's projects, and one of the things that Allie has always wanted is basically find a thing that grips her and that she's really motivated to do. And so she's been trying to find a project basically that she could make her own. And so while talking to Bazari, who is the favorite character of at least one person here, and probably at least a second favorite character of a number of other people here, she was given she was asked the right questions to figure out what she wanted to do. And so what Allie has been functionally setting up over the last 3 months has been a combination of the White Helmets / the Red Cross / the Avengers, which is to say, she has created Project SHEER, the Strategic Health and Emergency Allied Response, because I couldn't not make a sheep pun about this. And the objective was to create 5 to 10 man units that are highly responsive and deployable for crises. So everything from demon attacks to natural disasters to recovery from war damages. So most of them are general purpose units. Some of them are specialty units that are designed for situations requiring more stealth, more combat, more healing, more rebuilding. There's certain requirements for everyone. There's a requirement for the group that at least one person be able to cast tongues, 2 need to be able to provide magical healing, 1 needs to be capable of generating radiant damage, and 1 needs at least journeyman level proficiency in engineering. Everyone needs to be able to do basic emergency, mundane medicine, combat, writing, understanding of health and sanitation principles, wilderness survival, and renovation / repair. This is a kind of a international, multinational kind of unit thing here. And I promise not to talk too much longer, but I do need to list off the names of the specialty groups because I'm proud of them. So we have the Peacekeeper and Mediator units, which are the Pax Ovium, Ovis meaning sheep in Latin. We have the Plague and Pandemic Response Unit, the Golden Fleece. We have the Engineering Corps and the Rebuilding Specialists, which are the Shepherd's Crook. We have the this is a reference for the Catholics out there. We have the higher level demon hunter and banisher units, which are the goat herds, separating the sheep from the goats. We have the combat units, which are the guard dogs, and then we have the stealth units, which are the wolves in sheep's clothing.
Ah,
Wow. Wow.
I have made Scoot double face palm.
Yeah.
I had not read those yet.
Oh yeah, I have a whole document in front of me right now, guys.
I'm positive you fucking do. Anything else as far as the gala is concerned? Because I know you're usually helping other. Anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
We went shopping and got clothes.
There was a shopping montage, which I have been
montage.
proficient in for many years of RPing, of dungeon mastering shopping montages.
It's basically just a Pinterest dump. Let's be honest.
It really is. I found things on Pinterest. Here, let me link them.
Yes.
We enchanted them. I helped.
Because this is a goddamn fantasy world. I will wear whatever bullshit dress I can find on Pinterest.
Also, the great thing about living in a bullshit fantasy world where things can be enchanted is Deb and I can find really lovely dresses that are utterly impractical, and then enchant them to have pockets.
Yes, that was like the main
All
number one
dresses
thing.
have pockets.
Mala was like, "What can I do for you? How about some pockets?
How about pockets?
Pockets of holding." I gotta put my sword somewhere.
Something.
Girl's gotta have her
Flex said
sword.
that,
Girl's
something,
gotta have her
something.
sword.
Just like
Probably does not need a pocket for a sword.
you're going the anime route versus the Wonder Woman incorporate it into your back of your gown.
Okay, but alright. That is thoroughly impractical because unless you're doing like a pretty short sword, like really short sword, you are never going to be able to get your hand high enough above your back in order to draw it without ripping your dress. Yes, I know the video on it.
Robert.
the shepherd. You seen the shepherd, Kate?
Yes.
Okay. I've never seen it tried in a dress, but there's a LARPer out there who designed and built a functioning back scabbard, which actually ended up being more secure when running than a side scabbard. So it's actually adventuringly plausible.
So it's related to something that actually does exist in the real world, which is total side note. But for any women who are listening to this who like to go running and hate the problem of where do I carry my phone while I'm running, I hate all of the things that I can strap it onto. Oiselle, Oiselle, makes a running bra that has a pocket in the back, in the middle for your phone. It holds really large phones. It's great. It's called the Flyout Bra. You should buy one. Okay, back to D&D.
We are not being sponsored by these products. We are just saying things we like.
No, but if Oiselle wants to sponsor us, we totally can.
Yeah. Deb, what has Tessa been up to?
All right. Yeah, I had to write a list because that's what I do. Because there was a lot of stuff that happened the last couple weeks. So, she's been working with the dwarves to expand the temple. So the temple now has several levels. It has the entrance hall in the tavern that it had before. It has the workers' quarters up top. It's got suites for all the delegates. And then in the basement has the expanded hot spring area. She also drew up some blueprints for the town, which we have now called Summit Vale. So the town has pretty much, it has the port for the new new waterway. It's got all like shops and inns and a dog park. Thank you, Allie, for that suggestion. So that is all underway. She helped put together the guest list for all the people that are coming to the gala. She had Heartway installed in Fran's chapel, so now there is an easy route to go from the chapel and the Free Peaks to pretty much anywhere that has a Heartway. And big news, her and Thrax got engaged, so that is the big surprise. She also wrote, and by she I mean me, wrote her introduction speech for Fran Con, and recently gave Somac one of her giant feathers to use as a quilt, which I have drawn and I'm very proud of. So there's that.
It is
It's
a total effect.
the cutest.
I will probably make that the thumbnail for this particular
Yes.
episode.
Yes.
Maybe use that
It
for a
needed
while.
to be done.
Yeah.
I thought of it, it needed to happen. I think that's everything.
Robert, what has Nikki been up to these past months?
Plenty of administrivia garbage, infrastructure improvements.
Roads and
lots of
sewers
working-
and garbage and garbage and sewers and garbage.
I mean, more or less, yeah. You have any idea how many people were planning on coming here? The sewer system was not adequate, and who boy did we have to pull up some of that piping with dwarves, and it was a whole fucking thing.
Mostly because there wasn't one, because this was just a farming village.
Now we have 100 people. Surprise.
Yeah. Hey.
You should probably talk about your new friend, though.
I'm getting there. I wanted to go for like 2 or 3 boring things and then the interesting thing.
Okay.
I got a new road put in that goes from the main road up to Fran's temple, and then, as promised, the more interesting thing. I was contacted by the last Reich is not the right word. Thank you, the last Rakai, who is sort of proto dragon from before the time of the brothers. Allegedly the last one alive, reached out to me in a dream and offered me phenomenal cosmic power in exchange for just a little bit of price. So we haven't really decided where that's quite going to go yet, but Nikki's definitely going to go for at least a slice of phenomenal cosmic power.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Yeah.
The Rakai was not particularly forthcoming on what he wanted. He kept doing that annoying recruiter thing and was like, well, what are you paying? Well, how much do you want? Forcing me to come up with the first number. So
he is an all-powerful proto dragon from the time when the elements roamed the plane. So he's got leverage.
Possibly go wrong.
What could possibly go wrong, Robert? No character has ever made such a deal with such a weird being that perhaps lives amongst the hells, or at least down in the below the Underdark.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't sell my soul for an airship or anything.
An airship that is a dog.
Yes. He has a sick sense of humor.
Look, Will left the campaign. We needed a new pack slut.
That's true.
I had slut down, so I was just
I make
Get the pact in there.
Diversifying.
In this economy, you gotta. Randall, let's start with what's Kiki been up to besides causing hell with the neighbors?
So, the one thing that the party hasn't mentioned yet is we've all had these kind of dreams. We each had one dream that was kind of shook
I forgot to mention that.
each of us.
I mentioned it. That's where the rock guy came from.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You did.
The rest of us were shook.
Yeah. So yours had some tangible positive outcome. Kiki had this dream where this shadow cube just started to engulf the whole area around Nikki's lands and the event, and then there was this golden beam of light that started to diminish it, but she was really kind of shook by it. So there's an entity that lives in this puzzle box that she was gifted, and it basically asked her how do you form bonds that aren't made of steel. That's not the exact wording. So she's been sort of, no pun intended, puzzling over that, and she's actually moodier than usual. She's a little so she's, for the gala, she's been helping with security, so whatever Tessa needs. Locke, Nikki's head of security. But she's been more reactive than before, so if they need her, she'll absolutely do something, and then she kind of withdraws a little bit and stuff like that. So she's been kind of making sure that she's amped up because she doesn't know what to expect, and she's trying to balance between having non-lethal means of dealing with people who might get out of hand and trying to figure if she needs to do some major something because of this dark cube dream that she had.
Yeah.
That said, she also doesn't really see a whole a huge big role for her. I'm sure Satara has tapped into her for tech support, for the shows, pulleys and cranes and whatever she needs for backdrops and things. But Satara does a lot with magic. The only other thing is that Kiki will have volunteered to help with childcare and entertaining the kids for anyone that comes in. Just whatever area whatever area. This is an adult diplomatic event, but some people will have kids. So if they indicated that in their letter or something, then she will.
One of the kids is actually Ellie's sister, who I'd originally been thinking would probably be very interested in Kiki because engineering and technology and science and stuff. But she's kind of been distracted by Engineer Brightstone, who seems to be delighted at the idea that he can avoid the party while doing something vaguely diplomatic by talking to the daughter of, the people in charge of Amir.
I'm going to use you as a scapegoat, small child.
I'm diplomating.
Yeah.
Look
So
at me
if-
go.
We both want
people
out of this, and
indicated-
we can help each other.
Yeah, so if people indicated that they were bringing and they wanted to focus on one of the events or sessions, Kiki would basically do like a little mini science camp kind of thing, just to keep the kids entertained or whatever. That's right. So that's been Kiki.
Are you gonna do like dry ice in little like film canisters, little dry ice rockets?
If there is fantasy dry ice in this world, 100%.
Yes, that one was like my favorite as a kid.
She will pull out
after Randall shares what Satara's been doing. Should we probably share what each of our dreams were, just for
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, so what's Satara been up to, Randall, besides running the show, literally?
So, Satara, and maybe informed by some real world knowledge on my part, really was interested in a couple of things, specifically the verbiage for the invitation, making sure people know that they were welcome. We were going to try to have a safe environment, etc. Asked them to indicate if they needed anything in the way of accessibility, food restrictions, those kind of things. She also helped to work with Tessa to establish sort of proto rules for the event, meaning just like behavioral norms that people could agree to and they could modify in real time. We should not do this during the session because it takes forever. But where people are basically like, they agree to speak in common to the greatest extent possible, so there's not side conversations in other languages because that can create like distance. Try to minimize sending messages and sending stones and basically the equivalent of cell phone, all these kind of things.
Turn
like
off your sending stone.
Turn off your sending stone.
I have to add that to my speech. Hold on.
And then things like, try to balance like participating and leaving space for everyone. So she's very, very diplomatic. She's put on a bunch of events. So she helped with establishing the rules that people can agree to, modify, etc., and the invitations. And then, of course, the entertainment is the big thing. She might have recruited the geckos to be she has recruited the geckos for the opening ceremony. I could describe it now or in real time.
We'll take that in a moment. Let's get through the recaps first. We'll save that.
Okay. And in her subtle way, she's also been asking if there's any need for help around security, because she's like a mega high level bard, and she's just basically like would let Tessa and Locke and of course the rest of the team know, like, if shit goes down, like, signal me.
Given the dreams, which we'll talk about later, anything you can do to, given the nature of it, with the whole like the Hida thing and the shadow thing, if there's any powers that Satara has that can kind of prevent stuff like that from happening, I think we'd all jump on that opportunity.
Yeah, she does have a useful radiance spell. Oh, the other thing I forgot that Kiki had done was, with Tessa's help, she had imbued a device with detect good and evil while there were so many people on.
That's right, the
helping
radar.
to set up. So she went around going beep 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 to see if anyone was just blatantly evil. So she might occasionally pull that out during the event, just to like.
It's not going to work against assholes, but it'll work against anybody who's like a fiend in disguise or something.
That's it. She might wand a few people, like, just as they're walking around. You might just see her do that, and like, and then she's like, clear, even though they're like, who are you? And the other
Sorry,
thing...
you need to put your evil wristwatches in the box, please. No, I said take them off. You stood in line for like 20 minutes. I said take them off like 5 times.
No evil artifacts.
That's right.
There is a sign.
Yeah.
Check your artifacts. There's an artifact check if you need it.
And the
I'm trying to think of any of Briseis's daggers will set that off, actually.
Some of your characters have definitely had shit.
I think Briseis gets a pass. She's just a well-known entity.
Does she, though?
I mean,
I
weapons are allowed. Like, I'm walking around with my weapon. It just can't, like, radiate evil.
And I think if Scoot would say if it's in a pocket dimension, i.e. a bag of holding, I don't know that Detect Good and Evil would detect it.
I don't think it would.
Yep. And then the last thing is that Satara suggested that everyone have little badges in the shape of sheep. so that people know who's like staff that they can
Oh,
ask.
that's a good idea.
And there could be like a color coding thing, like I'm a presenter, I'm an entertainer, ask me if you have questions, that sort of thing, just so that people know.
Adding
gonna be
that
so many
bit
new
to my
faces.
speech.
There we go.
Thank you, Randall.
That's it.
Okay, so we know what Kiki's dream was. Let's go back to Robert. Do you want to say anything else about what you had?
Let me take a look at the dream and see if there's any details I particularly wanted to bring up. The big thing was just the rock eye offered power to me, which I plan on reaching out again before the gala.
Okay. So what you looked that over, Kate, Deb, anything you want to review about your dreams?
Yes, I just need to pull it up real quick. Tessa kind of, I don't know if it would be an attack kind of like it happened with Nikki, but she got just like this rush of uncharacteristically negative feelings, spite, hate, fury, and then there was a kind of a very negative poem, and then she was surrounded by wool, and all of those negative emotions went away, and she found herself kind of in the sky with just a whole bunch of constellations, and she heard Fran's and another woman's voice speak, with light can come shadow, where folks gather love can grow, but if you stand beside them, peace and joy this world may know.
And I'll echo that with the unhappy poem that I think at least several of us heard, was with light comes shadow, where folks gather hate will grow. Your path is far more narrow than you could ever know.
Kate, anything to kick in?
Yeah, so Allie had a somewhat similar dream in which she could hear her friends fighting and screaming and possibly dying, but couldn't get to them because shadows were cutting her off. She was eventually protected by what she recognized as the leaders of the Golden and the Shadow Legion, which are kind of an interplanar peacekeeping force, which she's actually mildly annoyed about because her parents kind of have a contract with them. And she's like, damn it, I don't want to work with my parents for the rest of eternity. But more kind of, she did hear the same poems, both of them, but kind of more, I guess, impactfully for her at least. It reminded her very, very much of a previous negative experience she had at a gala, in which a psionic who got corrupted, happens to be her uncle, possessed her then on-again, off-again boyfriend and tried to kill her. So she's got, like, slight hang-ups around galas. So she and Kiki are probably on similar levels of, like, high alert / anxiety right now. They're just expressing it very differently.
Okay. So with that review on the books now, we dive back into the world. And the first thing that's very important for all of you to know is that winter has come to the Free Peaks. And winter is a bitch in the peaks. It is bitingly cold all the fucking most of the time. A lot of people are indoors. There's, the folks around here have really learned like the importance of fire and how to keep things warm. But I'm going to probably say that most of you are fucking miserable being who you are. And Nikki, Nikki, you're from a very warm place. Most of you are from Dosh Naral, which is pretty warm all the time. Yeah.
I have Fran's sweater that gives me cold resistance, but I feel like even with cold resistance, it still, like, sucks.
Yeah. You're not as miserable as other people are, but it is fucking cold up here.
Allie spends a lot of time in fox form because it's mildly less bad in fox form.
You can floof up.
Can we get some heaters in the temple? I imagine, like, the geothermals from the
No, inside the temple is, like, inside is better. Most people spend a lot of time in the side of the building. And, like, the hot spring, whatever's heating that thing, seems to keep it, like, a relatively better temperature. So a lot of the tieflings that have come up to help you from Dosh are just, they're always inside. Some of them had to cut deals with the dwarves who are more used to this type of shit. But even for them, it's fucking cold. Like, the ones that grew up in the higher peaks of Duraheim are like, It's like a Minnesota being like, fucking, it's only -30. I don't know, you're just, not that bad.
10 degrees, that's t-shirt weather.
Yeah, I should go mow the lawn. The other thing that...
shovel the driveway, but yes.
To mow the lawn. The other thing that happens is that Phil thought he was prepared because he made those like potions for the geckos, and after the first couple of days, he just became furious. Kiki would notice this since you hang out in the barn a lot. He has begun making alchemical equations, which you might have a night you can sort of suss out just from it. You don't know what he's doing exactly, but he's either trying to kill the sun or like make the sun more. You're not sure what he's going for, but he has been furiously working on something because he is upset that it is this fucking cold up here.
Can we have them like get little like parkas?
Yeah, like
Sweaters,
you have
like,
enough
down
magic.
jackets?
There's enough magic, and they are reptiles, so you have. They have shifted from the barn mostly to the inside of the temple. They can manage a little bit in the cold.
Yeah, they have a quarters deep in the temple that's pretty warm.
Yeah, but like they on the coldest, snowiest days, like they just don't go outside because they might die. Like they are still reptilian, although adorable. But Phil has been fervently working on something, and the potions are enough to let them do stuff during the day. But like it is much colder than Phil first expected.
So
I'm picturing
Kiki would-
Allie occasionally like portering one of them around at a time, just like having them like sit inside of her tails, just like wrapped in all of them, and she walks them between two locations.
Probably.
so
Imagining
Kiki
it
will-
Somek in a giant coat that's too big for him, just
Yes.
back
Trundling.
and forth like a penguin.
Yeah.
Oh, like Ralph's little brother in
Christmas Story.
Yes,
Christmas Story.
yes, 100%.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. Kiki would probably try to do a couple things: is create sort of a sunken pit outside of the barn, southern facing, or wherever. We're above.
You're
the
in the
northern
high
hemisphere?
northern
North.
hemisphere, yeah.
Yeah. So sort of, and then she would try to help. Who was doing the equations?
Phil was doing the equations.
Okay, she would try to sketch out what would basically be a giant magnifying lens to try and amplify
What sunlight you have.
the
up there.
sun to warm the rocks so that there could be this like it wouldn't last for long because I know the hours are shorter, but to try and warm some of the rocks outside if they need like a break or something. So she tried to be creative and help them with their dilemma.
Yeah, and he does appreciate that, but he is the one that is like, he's disregarded. This has become his sole fucking project, is figuring this out.
Kiki respects obsession. She really does.
So, time moves on, the gala comes ever closer, and the night before, though, Locke comes to your door, Nikki, and she knocks.
Come in.
My lady, packages have arrived for you, and it is like probably 11 p.m. Like it is night.
Now?
You should see this. Don't wake Phyllis.
Okay.
She looks very serious that you do not wake Phyllis.
Oh, it's this kind of... Okay, all right, cool. I'll get up and I'll pull on a nice, heavy wool skirt and jacket, and I'll head downstairs to the block.
Yeah, so down there, you see Go, the mouse folk that you've hired on as the doctor, has two boxes open, and it looks like... Have you seen, those old tricks where you, put a ball into... what is that liquid that freezes? Nitrous oxide. It's the liquid that freezes things.
Nitrogen?
Liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen.
And there's when there's still steam rising up from something.
Chicago fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that steam from something has been dipped in liquid nitrogen popping out of these stone boxes. And he Go is standing there, and the box is he's a little bit taller than them, and he's looking in, and he's like, huh. And he just sort of looks up at you, and Go is a war veteran, so he's seen some shit, and he's like, wow.
Right.
My lady, this is it's sort of gruesome. And he just steps back. It's on a table. He's standing on a table and just sort of takes a couple steps back to get out of your way.
I will take a deep breath and go look inside one of the boxes.
Inside the box is a severed, completely frozen human head.
I throw up a little bit in my mouth, and then I do my college trick to spit it out. Out through a little loop with prestidigitation on it.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath, and I'll look in again. Do I recognize the face?
Mm-hmm. Well, it takes you a couple of seconds because it's very twisted in this screaming visage. It's Dana. As far as you can tell, that's Dana.
Oh.
Time for drinks. Oh, just kidding.
I'm
not there.
Shots.
You already have something to chill the drinks with. I mean,
why let it go to waste?
You can balance like a beer bottle in her open mouth.
wow.
Nikki. Jesus fucking Christ.
I watch a lot of horror movies. I'm sorry.
Okay, I know that I threw a corpse off a bridge, but there was strategic potential there. All right, this is just unnecessarily gruesome.
I'm the worst. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's Radia.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah.
And there was another box,
Okay.
by the way, Nikki.
I kind of take a step back and take a second to study myself, and I mean, I can't say she was a terrible person, but I feel like that looks like it was a hell of a way to go.
It goes like, yep.
Okay.
So he takes out a little mouse-sized flask, mouse folks at class, and takes a real long hit of it and puts it back.
I squinch my eyes up for a little bit and take another deep breath, and I look in the other box.
It is your other male relative.
Yeah, unsurprising. So it's the last two.
Yeah, the other guy is, Braham guy is somewhere in Tide's Breach. You don't know what happened to him. As far as you know, he's not dead, but he is in some sort of, he's not happy where he is because the Badgers...
Some kind of lockup getting over his horrible drug addiction.
These two, though, are super fucking dead.
Okay, actually, on that note, I'm going to... I'm just gonna... Do I feel any undead shenanigans going on? I don't have actual detect magic, but...
Make an Arcana.
Is there
check,
anything that I
pick
can
up,
detect?
like necromancy.
Yeah.
Magic.
I have something that can help if you can't.
Okay. 9. No?
No?
17.
Yeah. There's no necromancy there. Just a lot of like ice,
A lot of dead?
magic, dead
Okay.
being. There is. These two heads are saturated with magic, though. Like they are like radiating magic. Not enough to like harm you, but like, wow, there's a lot of whatever did this was a lot of overkill. Beyond the fact that it's frozen, severed head, like there's a lot of magic was used for this.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna... Yeah, this is so gross. I'm gonna pick up the head of Dana and look at the stump of a neck. Ragged, clean cut,
extremely
coagulated. Like, what do we look at?
ragged, as if incredibly sharp fangs bit through.
Ooh.
But it was like I saw
That's
like
funny.
one, not a chewing one.
Huh. Okay, my goodness. That's fucky. Can I see in this box, is there like tacked? Can I see why it's so cold? Is there like liquid nitrogen sloshing around in there?
Nope. It's made of stone, which is weird. But you don't know if like wood would be able to stand up to like this level of cold.
But is there any obvious source of the cold?
The heads themselves seem to be the source of the cold.
Okay. Well, I'm immediately a little bit suspicious of Elzoff.
It's the ice sculptures we ordered for the gala. Surprise!
Do you want to maybe tell your friends what's going on, or the crazy magic bard that's on this premise?
In just a second. First, I'll turn to Go and I'll ask, can we give these a proper burial?
Define. He genuinely asks, define what you mean by proper, because like digging a grave is going to be a bitch. Who are you waiting to say that? Go and see. He's like, digging a grave is going to be time consuming. If you want to try to burn them or do a pyre, then that would be a little bit easier. Although he sort of pokes the other head and take them a little bit. They gotta have to. If you'd forgive my grimness, they'd have to defrost before they would burn.
Right.
Also,
is a funeral
just
pyre
the heads came? Locke says like there was no body.
nothing else? Just these?
Oh,
Okay.
just these addressed to you and very lovely.
I'm
script.
gonna. Can we maybe close these up a little bit? Is there any markings on the box? Any like
there is a
freeze your corpse's ink?
Oh no, there's a card.
Oh,
Hmm?
I'll take a look at the card.
Okay, you open it up. It is written in an ancient form of Draconic.
Okay. I do not speak Draconic, so that's sad. But I will at this point hit that slap chat.
Does anybody know Draconic real quick?
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, if anyone's still up, I was just delivered some frozen severed heads. Did anyone order these?
What? You're joking,
WtR.
right?
No,
Satar doesn't have a
unfortunately.
slap chat.
I wish I was
He doesn't have a
joking.
slap chat.
It's Dana and what's the other guy's name? I think I wrote it down.
What the fuck?
Did I write it down?
What's this fuck?
What's this fuck?
Did I write it down? Did I write it down? I didn't write it down. Fuck! Dana's the only one I've written down.
Dana
Wow,
and brother. That's fine.
I
We
don't
can
know
keep
how
it
to feel about that. Was there anything with it?
There's a card, but it's. I think this is Draconic? I certainly can't read it. Any of
I
you-
have that tongues brooch. I could probably. Does that
Tongues
work
is
for written?
speaking. No.
Ah, damn. Okay, never mind. I can't do anything.
There's a language spell, but it's a different one, yeah.
Eyes of the
Um,
Rune Keeper.
Comprehend
Comprehend
languages.
languages. There's a lot
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
Comprehend
yeah.
languages is what I was.
It's also a
yeah.
ritual, Nikki, if you have that, or if you have the time to cast that.
I don't
10-minute
have
ritual,
it
I think.
learned, unfortunately.
Hmm.
And Locke,
I would love it.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yes.
So Locke goes, Phyllis knows that ritual.
What? I find myself unsurprised, and yet I really didn't think to ask him this whole fucking time. Okay. I'll talk to Phyllis in the morning and learn whatever rituals I can from him. I think it would be a bad idea to wake him up for this.
Wait, is the gala tomorrow?
The gala is tomorrow.
Yeah, no, you wake up Phyllis for that. Like, Kiki would be like,
I thought we
Kiki
still
would
had a
be-
week.
Oh no, this is the night before the gala. These boxes arrive.
Fun.
and all through the house, not a creature
Okay.
was stirring.
Except
Except-
that one mouse.
Except
this
Master
year.
Gunner.
Yeah.
Except go the mouse.
Except go the mouse. Okay, well, shit. In that case, yeah, I'm gonna go find Phyllis and knock on his door.
Yeah, Kiki would be like, wake him up.
So go, my lady. Maybe just take him the note while we. And he just gestures for him and Locke to like move the boxes somewhere
Oh
else.
yeah, no, he's not coming out here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take the note and go find Phyllis.
Okay, you find Phyllis. He's in his room and he wakes up and starts. Miss, sorry, lady. I'm so sorry. I'm in not a state. If you would just give me a moment. He's just sort of fidgeting and he's in a very old old Ebenezer Scrooge like nightgown with the cap, the whole 9 yards.
It's quite all right, Phyllis. If you'd be more comfortable, I can come back in like 2 minutes.
Oh, sure. I had this lovely sleeping jacket that Miss Bendo got me. I'll be right out. And he
Okay.
takes a couple minutes and puts on enough clothing to be warm. And he goes, "How can I help you? Is everything any problems?"
No, we're doing all right. But I found this message when I was doing some studying, and it's in some. It appears to be some kind of ancient Draconic, and Locke said that you knew you could cast comprehend languages.
Oh, I do. I have every good keeper worth his salt knows a couple of rituals for such an occasion. He says very proudly and having no idea what is in the next room.
Can you teach me that?
Of course. Hang on. And he walks. He goes into his room and he brings out this sizable book of just like basic rituals you would need for this type of thing. He goes, so would you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. It's very late. Do you want to learn this now, or would you like to, you want me to translate this, right?
How long would it take to learn it?
Couple hours, probably.
We'll just have him translate it for now.
Okay, so he does the ritual, 10 minutes. He's, oh, this is so curious. Do you know anyone by the name of Elzoff? Sounds elven.
Doesn't ring a bell. Go on.
Razor in there.
Yeah. It says, this is your a show of good faith. I'm sorry, it's a literal translation as the spell does, so I'm going to try to interpret it a little bit because it's an old form of Draconic. It says, here is your boon and show of my good faith. I have rent problems that are in your way. Your companion Elzoff.
Interesting. Thank you very much. That's all I needed tonight, I think.
This sounds quite ominous, mister. Something wrong?
I don't think so. I'll let you know if I find more out about where this is connected to, though.
Oh, okay. You can see the look of concern on his face.
I'm trying very hard to project just go back to sleep.
He's not picking it up.
Go to sleep.
No.
Now your friends are there, so they can certainly kick in to help you.
Just have Somek go in there.
Just go get stuff.
Emotional support gecko.
Yeah, I'll slap chat. Phyllis is twigging on that something's off. Can we get a distraction? A silent slap chat comes out.
Mm.
Wait, distract Phyllis?
Yeah, just Somek him or something.
So actually, Allie could potentially
Sleep spell.
help with a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just are we all awake at this point? Like, did you wake us
Oh,
up?
the Snapchat has. He told you there were frozen heads have shown up at the door. I'm assuming most of you have awoken at that. That
Kiki.
yeah.
Kiki made a beeline.
Okay. In that case, Scoot, do you mind if I make a direct to Bendo thing, since you were playing both of those characters and you probably don't want to solve the problem with one of your NPCs?
Sure.
All right, so Allie would kind of knock on the door of Phyllis's room.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Phyllis?
Oh, hello. Oh, I'm so glad your families. I had a chance to meet the Foxes, especially and he just starts kind of thrusting praise upon the whole of the Fox family as they've been so lovely.
Breeza was loving the books that you showed her, by the way. She was absolutely delighted.
She's so inquisitive. It's a thing you don't see in most young people today.
Oh God, I think inquisitive might be the nicest possible way of describing what she is.
Mm.
Anyway, Bendo had a question about one of the tables, just making sure that one of the seating arrangements was correct. She was just wondering if you could meet her down in the kitchen.
Oh, sure. We don't want another cucumber sandwich problem. And he saunters off to the kitchen.
Bless.
And I look at Nikki. I figured you'd be better with a problem to solve as a distraction.
Thank you. Good thought. Okay.
Bendo is actually in the kitchen, by the way. If Allie was woken up, she would have woken Bendo and come up. And as soon as the request for a distraction was placed, she'd be like, all right, Bendo, go tell him there's a seating problem. Some shit.
Yeah. So in the kitchen, when you've seen this, Bendo is just going over the seating chart again as she has scribbled out names and switched them around on purpose and to let him correct it. And oh, that's, nice. She's doing that. Kim went the fuck back to bed. He doesn't.
Kim went the fuck back to
bed.
Fair.
He doesn't give a shit.
Kim's like, they're already dead. Problem solved.
Yeah, why am I awake?
I feel like Kim and Nikki are, or Kim and Kiki, excuse me, are both very, very straightforward in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Allie's less concerned about the them being dead part, especially given once you communicate the part about Elzoth, and more about the let's get Phyllis back to sleep without panicking and or finding that there are decapitated heads.
Having read it, I feel still concerned, but at least it's not some kind of very ill-informed mafia trying to intimidate me.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot worse. I mean, at least you kind of know what this is about.
Yeah, I may not love it, but I understand it.
So this is your proto dragon dream friend that did this as a solid for you? Am I interpreting that?
Correct.
That appears to be the case.
When you
You
put it
you didn't ask for a boon, did you?
No.
You still have 3 wishes.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
They get that one for free. That's how they pull you in.
Killing your enemies for you.
First one's free.
Which, I know we've been tangential this whole time, but I have a delightful tangent about Robin Williams, if we don't mind 30 seconds.
I'll edit it. It's fine.
My dad used to travel a lot. No, people will want to hear this one. My dad used to travel a lot. He was super duper jet lagged at like 3 o'clock in the morning at a hotel in Albany, New York. So it was like in the early 90s, yeah. So he goes to the arcade room. This is back when hotels actually had arcade rooms. He goes down to play some pinball. 2 pinball machines in there. Starts on the first one, and it's working, but it doesn't make any sounds. Like, the lights light up, there's just no noises that goes along with it. So he's like, whatever, I'm the only person in here, and goes over to the other one. About half an hour later, some other dude comes in, starts playing on the pinball machine next to him. My dad's still playing his game without looking over, and is like, oh, by the way, the sound doesn't work on that one. The guy's like, oh, it's fine, I'll make my own sound effects. He starts making his own sound effects. My dad's like, those sound effects sound awful familiar. And he looks over, and it's Robin Williams playing pinball next to him at 3:30 in the morning, making his own sound effects.
Wow.
Better than the sound actually being on.
Fantastic.
Okay, so it's these severed heads, though.
Yeah, that's what he
Okay.
said.
So severed heads. Okay. I'm going to put on. I have one of those like fluffy Russian ushankas. So I'll put that on and I'll go outside, which is just fucking bitterly cold. And I'll call out. Hell's off.
On a what would be a normally relatively clear night, just sort of, cold, that kind of din of the middle of winter, snow begins to fall. A little bit. And then it very quickly turns into those big old fat flakes that like really
I love those.
But those that like really obscure your vision to the point where you can't see more than like a couple feet in front of you. And this very large white, blue, and silver draconic eye opens in kind of the middle distance. You can vaguely make out this titanic tragonic head, but you really pretty much just see the eye, the reptilian eye, which is larger than you are tall.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
And whatever you've seen to have caught his attention. Yes.
Receive your message.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a little over enthusiastic, but I can't argue with the results.
Best not to.
Damn.
To that point, you asked what I would offer, but what do I have that you could possibly want?
As Nikki says that, you see, as you have seen before, a couple of feet below the bottom of the eye, this lip curls up and these brilliant, sharp teeth, these impossibly white, shiny teeth come up into what is probably a very large smile, but the snow is obscuring it. By the way, everyone else can see that a blizzard has started out of nowhere when there was not supposed to be one. It almost happened instantaneously.
I'm just going to do a really quick slap chat as he's smiling and just say, it's all good.
Oh, thank God. Tessa's getting very anxious about the guests.
She's like, oh my God, we have to clear.
Fucking blizzard right now.
I know, we have to clear we have to shovel all the sidewalks and.
Oh, this is gonna be such a mess.
We're gonna have to salt everything. I guess it'll help with the demons potentially.
And we have to get the really expensive like pet safe salt too for all of the like animal folk.
Salt.
There's a rumbling laughter from the Rakai as he says, "I've been trapped underneath a mountain for a very long time.
It's my mountain, isn't it?
No. It's on another
Oh.
continent.
That's actually refreshing. I thought there was a fourth
Randall,
thing
but-
happening to my mountain.
I wasn't expecting
None of us were expecting that.
like this fucking mountain.
So shit. Okay, I'm getting relieved, and then Kate's messaging me. Don't wait for it.
To the,
Okay.
to the east of here is a mountain known as Gobo. I've spent many millennia underneath its stone. I thought it would be the end of me, but as fate would have it, it was not. A group of intrepid adventurers inadvertently freed me. I don't have much time left, Darkspawn. I intend to enjoy what last bit of life I have.
So I thought that was going with you want me to free you, but it sounds like you're good to go. What does it take for enjoying? You want to just like throw parties?
A good concert, maybe.
Shots.
Waffles.
Get some Smirnoff Ice. You're good to go.
Tessa doing shots with.
Have
an
you
H
ever
in the
had
eyes.
strawberries with fresh whipped cream? I know you probably don't get the canned stuff under the mountain.
Nice.
I've been eating whales for the past 2 years.
Ugh, sticks in your teeth.
Especially the blue ones, he says. I wish to see the world as it is now. I wish to experience things before I cross over into the next sea and join most of my kin, some of which will not be happy to see me, and there is this deep, rumbling, sort of malicious laugh, as if there's a lot of history to that statement, there's a lot of weight to it that you don't fucking know anything about.
I'll gesture back towards the estate, which I can like barely see the outline of this one, and be like, well, I can understand a little bit of that, certainly. So what, is this a see the world through my eyes kind of thing, or do you want me to like actually summon you at places?
I've been doing that. I have a number of interests. One of which.
Sorry, Scoot, did he just say I've been doing that?
Yes, he's been doing that.
Great. Go
awesome.
on.
Fantastic. I'm looking for a few things. I'd like to taste different food again. I'd like to see the types of people that have come on the world. I'm also looking for a consort of sorts.
I don't know any other gigantic dragons.
Oh no. And you see the eye close for a second, and he shifts into this insanely beautiful, ethereal Eladrin form. And he's taller than you. It's male presenting, but you don't think gender is very fluid to this being.
I mean, given that it just shifted down from a dragon that's like the size of, I don't know, Manhattan.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Yeah.
With or without pants, this ethereal being.
He's wearing a very long tunic. So it's like if you strip down an MMO character to just the tunic, that's
Okay.
what he has, yeah.
There we go.
I suspect that Nikki is more disturbed, but I was just curious.
Nikki's a little bit disturbed, but there's definitely a part of her that can't help going like, ooh.
And he walks forward towards you. And once again, but what reveals him is his eyes remain the same color, the bluish white silver, and it's also like the reptilian, like it's not a human eye, it's reptilian.
Yeah.
And he blinks a couple of times, and he just smiles at you.
I'm sure we can arrange something then.
You?
Who's like, wow, okay, go Nikki. Go Nikki.
Want to just go for it? I'm rolling. Okay.
You're agreeing to this.
Um, is there like a? Do I need to sign? He's gonna like hurt me?
Not unless you want me to.
Okay, just a little, I guess, is fine.
Allie's gonna slap chat you. Don't forget you got the dungeon downstairs. It's soundproofed.
None of you know what's
actually
going
have-
on. Yeah,
Oh, never mind.
because I don't know if you've said anything, Rob.
It's relatively in character for Allie to just slap chat me with that without
That's
context.
also true. That's also true.
Yo, this hard point needs to be replaced. Just so you know, I'm looking at it like it's starting. You know, we should swap that.
This is your regular reminder that you have a dungeon downstairs and it's soundproof. That is all.
It's the third Wednesday
Actually,
of the month.
I feel
The
like
dungeon alarm is going off.
Be an in-joke that like if Allie and Nikki are up at like 3 a.m. doing absolutely normal mundane things, at some point one of them is going to be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, did you know you've got a soundproof dungeon downstairs?" Not because they're actually planning to go down there, but because it's just become their joke at 3 a.m. now.
Honestly, probably yes. By the way, we can get you and Bindo and Kim keys to the dungeon if you want.
You can get what? Sorry, I didn't hear the second half of that sentence.
We can get you and Bindo and Kim keys to the dungeon if you want.
You think Callie hasn't already been using her key?
Well, no, but you can get your own key instead of having to steal mine, and then like it's annoying
I
because
feel
like
part
sometimes I
of
put it in
fun
the
is
other drawer.
Stealing yours.
It sounds
though.
good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to the offer though, Rob. Are you Are
Right.
you accepting?
I will accept.
Okay. So what do you say to him exactly?
I actually have a space that would be rather convenient. It's the dungeon. It's the dungeon. We're just still joking about the dungeon.
Right. He goes, I am pleased by this, although I know you have a event coming up, and we have much to discuss as way of terms, how things can work, what you're comfortable with. And again, that same draconic smile on a very humanoid face.
Uh-huh.
But just to show you of my intent, and you see his hand whirls with like a small winter tempest.
Okay.
And it's one of those. It's one of those ones where there's lightning inside the snowstorm, and he reaches out and right below your chin, not where Nikki's boobs are, but the kind of that like the coccyx, if you will.
Yeah.
Like right here, he just very lightly touches you, and he imbues you with the power. It's that the armor of Agus, which is that ice armor that Ford has from.
Oh yeah, Agathis. Yeah.
Agathis just comes on to you.
Oh my.
Nice.
Oh. Nice.
We'll talk later. I have business to attend to for now. Good luck with your gala. I'll not interfere.
Thank you. And Nikki sounds extremely relieved at that.
Yeah. And you see him just slowly back away looking at you. And his form disappears, but the eyes shine brightly despite the snow, until he goes from your vision and the snowstorm is done. Like it comes to an end abruptly, and you find that while snow has piled amongst the it is piled up in different places, the walkways are perfectly clean.
Nice.
The area of the grounds is perfectly clean. He apparently has been in
He's so
very
considerate.
control of this snow, which is to you, as knowing how like controlling wizard, like as a wizard that knows in somewhat how to control weather, that is an insane amount of control that he can do that and do whatever else he wants to.
I'd like to imagine that like my legs are like perfectly piled up to the waist though.
Basically,
just to fuck with me. Yeah. All right. I'll kick myself out of the snow, and head back inside. Okay. Are there people awake in the room downstairs?
Yeah, Locke is terrified. You find that actually as you approach the door, Locke bursts the fuck through it with a sword, and is just searching for you. Goes, okay. And is just wanting an explanation of what the fuck is happening.
I give her a thumbs up.
That doesn't help me. She says she basically takes you and brings you inside.
Okay. So Is the armor of Agathis still like up on me,
Yeah,
or did
it's
it like,
up.
fade away?
No, it's up. It's just there.
Okay. Can I put that away?
You can you can dismiss it.
Okay. I think about that and it dismisses.
So instead of just
If I think
magically going away, it just melts off of you.
Oh, that's so cool. I try to think about kind of how it felt to wear it and see if I can bring it back.
You have the spell slot, so it comes back.
Nice. Okay.
Everyone make me a perception check, please. Perception check.
Myself included?
Not you.
Bitch.
Okay. I assumed it
11.
was.
Okay, Allie, you, as you're looking at Nikki, because again, a lot of weird things just happen. There is a little tattoo right where Elzoff touched her. You don't know what that is, but you see this like a very intricate snowflake tattoo.
So, do you want me to insight check to see if Allie would be able to put together that, Nikki mentioned being contacted by like a super duper elder proto dragon that involved snow of some sort, and now she's got a snowflake tattoo on her chest. Or like,
I mean, you don't
that
have
Allie
to,
put that
'cause I'm
together?
about to like
Yeah.
say it.
You see that, and then Nikki.
So I come inside so anyone who's in the room can hear this. So also everyone in the party, not Locke, knows that I was contacted by Elzoff.
Mm-hmm.
We had talked about that in RP, and that I had agreed to talk about terms with him at some point, and he had kind of pushed it off. So I come back inside. I'm like, okay, didn't really think that was going to work. Actually, I thought I was just going to stand in the cold and look silly. I got in touch with Elzoff. These heads are from him as a sign of helping solve a problem. Don't necessarily agree with his methods, but I can't fault the results.
I'm Elzoff helping.
Yes. And I asked him what I could possibly offer. Turns out he's been stuck under a mountain for several millennia, and he's just kind of horny.
No, well, that's easily solved.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Sounds like you got yourself a good deal then.
Seems like it.
Wait, did I message you that
also-
while you were talking to him?
Actually, you did.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually really well timed.
Allie high fives you.
I definitely like jump high five. It's dramatic. We clearly practiced.
Kiki gives you a sort of sideways looks at the severed heads, and she's like, "Love tokens?" And she's trying to put together.
Oh,
like,
I hope not more of that. Ugh, that's kind of
Mammalian
maybe?
mating rituals
I
are
don't know.
fucking weird, man.
What's more romantic than the severed heads of your enemies?
I mean, when you put it
two
like that.
severed heads.
Two severed heads.
Wow.
I thought that was like the third anniversary present.
Wow. Nice. Remind me to never have money of my characters date any of your characters ever.
Anyways, also I can do this, and I just like not quite T-pose, but like put my arms out to the side a little bit dramatically and flash the armor of Agathis up.
It comes up.
It's super sparkly. It looks like a super light snowfall where the sun is still out. The clouds aren't that many, and it's like almost glittery as it's falling. Just kind of like a haze of that around my torso.
Kiki walks up to you and knocks on it. She's like, "Yep, that puppy's real." Like she thought it was an illusion or something.
So I guess that's a thing. Also, he said he's not gonna fuck with the Gala, which
Oh, thank God.
thank God.
No, just gonna fuck you.
My
Yeah,
door
yes.
prizes, Tessa says, running away into them.
Also, Tessa, you fucking take a look at this. I was concerned about shoveling before tomorrow. Look at this shit. I kind of like take Tessa over to the window and
Praise
point
the
out
Lord, thank God.
where the
The,
I
Tessa,
don't think we have enough salt for that.
oh
Thank
no,
you.
Tessa, the sidewalks are cleaner than they were earlier today. Like they have been
All right.
taken.
My anxiety. I was up to here, and I'm now down to here.
for the viewers, her hand was off screen. and
Visual
went to
jokes.
mid-screen.
Audio
It
show.
was, sorry.
Love
I
it.
assume by when I say all the way up to here, you know.
Yeah,
it's
it
high.
carried through.
Yeah, I think Tessa approves of your new sugar daddy. Like, he cleared the sidewalk.
Just from that,
He sent
right?
you
Yeah.
severed heads. I mean, he sounds like a
I
good
gave
boy. He
binocular
sounds
pat down. It
nice
was
boy.
fine.
You didn't though. I haven't seen him but Nikki.
It's true.
Yeah, this is true. So Allie would then ask Nikki, "Is he cute?
Oh
He
yeah,
can be.
Are you
he definitely can be.
you're and you're doing this because you want to, and you're doing him because you want to, and not just because power dynamics, right?"
I mean, I think so, but I appreciate you checking for sure.
Yeah, always.
Kiki just
Check
looks
in
around
again
like,
in a week or two, but I think so.
I'll be checking in sooner than that, but maybe I'll replace our 3 a.m. in joke with a, "Hey, you doing this consensually now?"
Sounds good, actually. What were you gonna say,
If
Kiki?
the answer is ever no, just tell me pineapple.
Okay.
Kiki looks around. She's like, "Back to bed." She's like, "Is this weird drama?" Or like, she's like, "What the
Gala
hell?"
tomorrow.
I know, kind of. She's like,
Honestly,
with
Kiki,
Tessa.
I feel like this happens surprisingly often. Yeah, back to bed.
Kiki looks at you a little concerned.
No, like the weird shit happening, and then but it happens when we're all trying to, almost go to sleep.
Right? I'm forbidding any
Oh.
more weird shit happening until at least tomorrow morning.
After breakfast, says Kiki.
After breakfast.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously
Morning.
breakfast first, then the weird shit.
So you
Kiki
folks
trundles off to bed.
Back to bed. The rest of the night is uneventful. You sleep. So we are about to kick off the gala, folks. Any last final preparations or anything we'd like to throw in before things start?
Be okay with the schedule that I kind of just put in the
I love it.
document.
It looks
Is that-
fantastic.
Like introduction ceremony, speech, tour of the temple, Franels, some exploration time, dinner, next day, breakfast, tours, Franels, and then the big dance.
It looks great.
Okay. Then I'm good.
Okay. So, any last call, gaffers? Anything going once, twice? It's gala time.
Dun, 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 dun,
Bum
dun.
bum 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 bum.
Fran Con.
So
I actually have one really quick mechanical question, Scoot. Do I have to prepare Armor of Agathis? Is it always prepared? How does
it
it work?
is just
from a-
prepared for you. You can call on as long as you have the
Sick.
spell slot to do it. The
Stunning.
perks of having an ancient proto dragon sugar daddy, I guess.
Hell yeah.
So
Works remarkably similar to how the Thorn Shield works for Idri and Rufus.
yeah, it's like I'm reusing mechanics to make my life easier. So, all the guests arrive, right? So there's the foxes are already there. Allie, your brace is causing you all manner of headaches as she begins asking all these questions about etiquette, procedure, and how things work. People begin.
No, this is not causing me any kind of headaches. I know exactly who wants to be asked about all kinds of questions about etiquette and procedure. And she's currently having a lovely conversation with Phyllis.
But all of the dignitaries arrived. Dignitaries have come across from most of Ryam, but not all of it. You folks are still pretty new. Most interestingly amongst them are you have representatives from Thunderblade, Ventos, Lord Zoro's Darksbane of Ibaracum has arrived, as well as merfolk from Tidesbreach. So they're very interested in this whole conclave thing, as it was something they definitely did not do the first time. As you folks are kind of moving around and doing some of the more kind of opening stuff, the merfolk are wary of being, first off, this far inland. Most of them are tridents. They are kind of bipedal, two-legged merpeople. And no one's giving them a hard time, certainly. But there's still some unease because there are some, especially from the Venti folks from Ventos and folks from House Carai of the Federation have a lot of ship trade, and they run into things. But they know it's not, this guy, the wave tender, is not the one probably responsible for any attacks or anything that they may or may not have suffered.
Sure.
Yep.
Am I able to pick up on that tension between the Ventos dignitaries and the bird people?
Yeah, it's not overt, but you can tell, they're a little too formal.
Sure.
They're definitely, these are people that are used to such uncomfortable things, so they're just, it's fine. They're kind of dealing with it.
Okay. I'm going to make a point to really effusively greet them both, ideally within earshot of each other. Because I have personal connection to the Ventos folks, because I'm from Ventos. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you could come. This is so great. And then to the Mer people, be oh my gosh, I was just in Mertown recently. I'm so glad you're able to make it up. Was the canal comfortable to get through? Was it deep enough? Do you have any water issues?
They'd say the canal was fine. It was a little cold, but it's, winter in the northern part of the northern hemisphere, so what are you going to do?
I wish I could do something about that one, yeah.
You then see the Von Lycans arrive, Gen, Grema, and Darshel, the rest of Bendo's family, and she's very excited to see them, and you can, Allie, see her kind of wanting to do a very excited familial greeting, like she probably normally would in her casual time, but she's the sort of cruise director right now, so she's got to be doing her thing. Tessa, as you greet people, you do see King Rin and Queen Lana come, and Rin dispenses with all formalities and just picks you up in a big hug. Lana rolls her eyes at this, as they're supposed to be, they're dignitaries at the moment, but he just sort of twirls you around a bunch.
Well, we haven't officially started yet, so we'll allow it.
Yep. Members of the Falklands come, including Nim Raton, who is the sort of the heir of the family that founded Raton Rouge back in the Falklands, as well as Johnny Hoptopoulos. So actually, if Morgana is there, she would know as he's one of the many siblings of the Hoptopoli. They do breed like rabbits.
They are rabbits.
Yep.
Just like rabbits. How strange.
There are a number of folks from Lasana, including the Demarch Verka of Lutha, and as well as Governor Skojic of Skojic Province. These are two of the more powerful political bodies there now, which after a fairly long civil war between some of the provinces and the outlying countries. Something, Nikki, that you would pick up almost immediately is there is a woman shows up with a gentleman. She is decked out in a lot of gold. She's black, and throughout all of her hair are weaved very intricate kind of gold pieces on some of her dreads. And you go, that's a dragon. That's a dragon in lady form. This is Lady Goldara of Kavis, a nation of dragonborn ruled by the Council of 10, which are 10 of the eldest dragons on the planet. And she's very, she greets all of you. She's very happy to be here, very formal. She gets to you and she hesitates, as if she can sense something but isn't entirely sure what.
I'll just greet her as smoothly as possible and not try and make a scene with the extremely powerful dragon first among equals.
The next person that shows up, again, are folks from the Federation of Houses, although unlike the sort of last group you had of the Von Lycan thing, these are the adults of the kind of the ruling bodies. They are more formal and polite. The one of interest, though, you would probably see from... you would see literal daggers, if she could, from the Admiral Morgana, as Volan and Bella Carai show up, who are the primary antagonists to House Lombardo. These are their sort of trade rivals. This is the biggest one. Bella, though, being the head of the house, is extremely charismatic, and if you folks weren't prepared for this as you normally are, you would be sort of taken aback by her. Now, Satara is very ready for all these people, but God, Satara, Bella is fucking charming as shit, and she's seen your show, she loves you. She's showering you in enough praise to prove that she actually is a fan, but not enough that she's just buttering you up diplomatically.
Satara knows how to tell a true fan from a poser. Yeah.
Some of the last folks to come in are
Detect true fan.
It's a specialty spell. Yeah.
are two large
The Divanomicon.
are two large bear folk, which some of you would know is these are actually werebears, Jag and Misha Heggs, from a number of islands in Sibin Or. They're representatives of those islands, and again, they call themselves the Targans, which are basically this group of werebear folk. A number of other people show up. Last amongst them is three very strange characters. One is a otter folk that is just seated on a griffin who just sort of refuses to get off the griffin, and behind him is a turtle. You folks have seen them before. This is Posh and Damu. They hang out with the Ben Collins. They sort of work for Neri, but they kind of hang out and get paid to hang out for the most part. Like, Damu is a guard. Posh just never left their employ and just kind of hangs out at the keep.
Just likes it there, I guess.
Yeah. Very last one to show up is another person that kind of puts a lot of people visibly uneasy. It is a skeleton, like a ambulating skeleton, whose body language is very friendly as he's coming up and greeting you. He also is wearing a mask, and the mask seems to be enchanted so that it emotes for him. It's sort of like one of those. It's sort of like the theater, like the drama, the comedy and tragedy mask, but it's just not either or. Like, it is moving as he talks, because if you can see behind it, because he does this kind of have it on his face. His mouth is moving, but his skeleton face would not show emotion because it's a skeleton.
It being a skeleton.
The other thing you notice is that there are tiefling horns coming from the skull, noting that this gentleman in life was probably a tiefling. And he comes and he goes, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Chatterteeth. I'm from Moltas. God, it's good to be out here. I was just in Doshnarol. It's so good to be home. What a lovely place." And he does not stop talking. He just keeps talking.
Is it Chatterbox?
His name's Chatterteeth.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
A pleasure. I'm sorry if this is rude to ask. Is the cold all right?
I don't feel nothing.
Stellar. I envy
Except
you a
for
little bit on days like this.
Except for the happiness of meeting new people, he says.
Oh.
Satara is charmed by Chatterteeth, and she is just like wants to, well, no pun intended, chat him up. Like she definitely wants to like find out music traditions. Where's he from again? From Mortos.
Mortos, yeah.
Mortos.
He is, and Mortos makes everyone a little nervous because the Venti merchants know of Mortos, and Lord Zor's Darksbane doesn't seem to mind him. He comes up and talks to Chattertooth as if he's met this skeleton person before. But everyone else, like, Mortos is the city of necromancy and the undead, and some of them are what they refer to as the thinking undead. So it's the one that still retain personalities. They're not necessarily malicious. Some are, because some of them are just fucking assholes, because some people are just assholes. There also is another variant, which is the mindless undead, so kind of like zombie hordes, various bloodthirsty creatures, and there's not a good divergence between them sometimes. So living people going there, unless you know where you're going and how to get there safely, a lot of people don't just travel to Mortos. Although Mortos is, they do welcome visitors, they just don't often get them because most people are freaked out by the undead.
Mostly justifiably.
Yeah, but Sitar puts on some mild feelers about possibly performing there sometime.
Oh, the great Sitar. No, we've a couple of my friends, vampires in disguise. They saw you the last time you were in Ray. They said it was a great show. They'd even mind the scorching lights because it does hurt them a little bit. But that's fine. They know what they were doing.
Oh, we do try to post warnings about these things for people who are ahead, but I'm glad they're fine.
Right, but vampires. You can't tell them nothing. They've been around forever.
SPF 200. It's actually just like grease paint, full coverage.
No, but we would, as the representative, we would love to have you there, Miss Satara. You would really liven up the place, and he
she gives him finger guns.
Yeah,
she gives him finger guns.
He pops off an arm, makes a finger gun, and shoots you.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah. You've got a contender for new favorite NPC for me.
People,
possibly.
But there's sort of there's some opening stuff, people kind of getting around, settling in, and then they come back out for the keynote because this is a con.
Are we doing Sitar's thing first, or do you want to do my?
That's up to you, folks. You guys, you guys made up the timetable.
I think maybe start with the music act and then.
Looks like
And then speech, but
opening
I'm comfortable either
ceremony is first, and then introductory speech, according to
Okay.
our timetable.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever makes the most sense.
All right. So Satara will, behind the scenes, start whispering to the geckos. She's like 5, 6, 7, 8, and then she casts seeming so that the geckos look like little sheep, but like anthropomorphic sheep. And they each run across the stage at different angles,
Oh my
and they're
God.
each holding up an enormous flag that's like almost a little too big for them. And it's each flags of each of the countries and peoples who are there. So it's very like Winter Olympics in this case, right? So the geckos have been practicing their like little leaps really hard. She's very proud of them. She made sure they did warm-ups. She also did a little power circle with them beforehand, in the theater tradition. And then Satara will basically do a version of like, what the world needs now is love, sweet love, but not like a syrupy version because she's Satara. And she'll, as part of it, you'll notice she has this fiddle and the bow, and they look like they're made of like almost like living wood. And she will play that for part of it, and she'll just try to keep it simple, other than the visuals with the geckos. And someone might need to remind her to drop seeming because it does last for 8 hours. So if you see little
Or not.
lots of little sheep
give
running,
them the choice. Maybe
That's
they don't
true.
want to.
it won't actually keep them warmer, but psychologically they might feel warmer with the illusory wool. So yeah, and then she will graciously bow and then gesture to Tessa to take the stage to deliver the keynote.
So Tessa's pretty calm. She knows a lot of the people here. There's a lot she doesn't know, but she does stand on the stage and she casts thaumaturgy on herself to make her voice project so that it can be heard by everyone. And she says, "Good morning, honored guests. Welcome to Fran Con, the kickoff event for the Grand Conclave. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the Gaffers, staff and local farms of the Quillback Estate, the Duraheim Dwarves, the Doshi Forces, the Von Lycans, Satara, and Reggie and the Geckos for all of their hard work and support over the last several months to make this possible. Let's give them a hand." And she just starts clapping and tries to get everybody else.
Everyone claps. Yeah.
Satara from behind the scenes, she uses illusory magic to make the applause sound even larger. Like because she does it all the time.
I give like a thumbs up, like. She kind of waits for that to die down, and she continues. "My name is Tessa Earthshade Benkala, and I am the champion of Fransheep and moderator for this event."
The geckos go wild when you say your full title. They go berserk.
Along with my good friends Kiki, Allie Fox, and Lady Nikki Doxporn. At any time, please feel free to talk with us or ask us questions. We will be wearing the little sheep badges. So many of you may not be familiar with Fran, so let's start with a little bit of history. A long time ago, there was a grand conclave where various representatives of the nations of the world got together in peace to discuss common issues and threats. The conclave over time fell into obscurity and old friendships grew apart. Today is the start of the renewal of those friendships under the watchful eye of the goddess Fransheep, the goddess of Philia, or love amongst friends. The Grand Conclave begins anew as we seek to launch a unified front to tackle common issues that affect us all. Extraplanar threats, natural disasters, preventing war by addressing miscommunications, and even day-to-day issues such as trading and education. We seek to foster an understanding and respect of different cultures, to put aside our differences, and to learn from each other and create a better world. We don't have to agree with our neighbor, but we can engage in healthy debate and we can respect each other. I don't need to remind you that there is evil out there. You've all seen your fair share. And we see it even here, even now, in the threats that attempt to stop this conclave from happening. We see the forces of hate try to worm their way into our thoughts and emotions and try to turn us against each other. But we can combat this by sticking together, by nurturing the bonds we form today and onward. Together, we can live in peace, in happiness, and in understanding. By banding together, those that seek to invade and damage this world won't stand a fighting chance. By meeting at this conclave, we can solve world problems and overcome misunderstandings from the past. This is why we welcome you all today, honored guests. This isn't my conclave. This isn't Fran's conclave. This is your conclave. This is our conclave. So let's make it the best damn conclave that it can be. And she does pause there for a moment.
Actual applause. I don't know if it's going to make it over the noise cancellation, but that was fantastic.
Fantastic.
So that was fantastic.
At that,
Tatara gives you a standing. She gives you a standing ovation.
The crowd begins cheering as various types of prestidigitation and magic is flying up. Some of the more military folks are hammering on the tables with their approval of this.
And once that kind of dies down, she continues. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we do have a few ground rules, as you may have seen posted around. The temple, estate, and surrounding areas are neutral territory, and anyone demonstrating physical violence to another will be asked to leave. If you're having a disagreement, I suggest having a spar at the training grounds or working it out over a pint of ale. When possible, please speak common to be inclusive of everyone present. We understand that this may not always be possible, so translators will be available. Conversation is key, so make sure to allow others time to speak, listen attentively so that others may do the same to you. Also, turn off your sending stones. We must all look at this event with good intentions.
The best.
Enter with the spirit of curiosity and camaraderie. The basic rule of empathy applies here. Treat others as you wish to be treated. And with that, I will finish my speech by saying thank you to everyone in this room and to all those that can't be with us right now but are present in spirit. Without you, this wouldn't exist. Have fun, drink merrily, and remember to praise the diva, she gestures to Satora, for rocking your world at the dance tomorrow evening.
Just heartfelt applause again. Satara's just going to be like... She'll also probably cast like Major Illusion and have a giant like 20-foot sized Fran like above the stage at this point to like officially kick off with some fireworks effects. So good, Deb.
Right.
Amazing.
Very good, Deb.
Fantastic.
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
That's like 3 points of inspiration right there. So the first day goes off, folks, without a hitch. Everything happens. Everyone relaxes a little bit. Some of that earlier tension with Chatterteeth and the Wave Tender goes away a little bit as that skeleton is fucking charming as shit. And everyone sort of eases up with him. Everyone seems to be talking easily. Dinner is a success. The panels during the time go off pretty well. Some minor technical difficulties as Phil and crosses a couple of wires that Kiki has set up, mostly because he tried to eat one of them, and he mixed a potion incorrectly because he's so cold. But we will see how the rest of Fran Con goes next week, and what surprises Scoot may have in store for you. So from all of us here at Ryam, folks, thank you for coming out, and we will see you next week.